Hello and good day. Our topic for today is 4 C's of credit. In this video, I'm going to discuss the different factors to be considered in approving or disapproving a credit application. So without further ado, let's start. Kung sa marketing, merong tinatawag na 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion. Sa credit and collection, meron ding tinatawag na 4 C's of credit or the credit criteria. The 4 C's of credit or the credit criteria are the factors to be considered in approving or disapproving a credit application. So these 4 C's of credit or the credit criteria are very important in order to know the credit worthiness of the credit applicant. Of course, kailangan na merong credit criteria para maging basis at para malaman kung makakabayad nga ba yung credit applicant. Ang general question kasi dito ay makakabayad nga ba yung credit applicant? Since tinatawag ito na 4 C's of credit, expect na lahat ng included sa criteria ay nagsisimula sa letter C. All of those that are included in the criteria start with letter C. And what are the 4 C's of credit? The 4 C's of credit are: first, character; second, capacity to pay; third, capital; and fourth, collateral. Let's start with the first C of credit, and that is character. Ang character, ito yung combination ng qualities at traits ng isang tao. So kung iisipin natin yung word na character, sobrang lawak. It has a broad connotation. Pero ang ibig sabihin ng character dito ay credit character. Ano nga ba yung attitude, ano nga ba yung character ng isang tao towards credit? That is the meaning of character when it comes to credit and collection. That is the meaning of character in the 4 C's of credit. A person's credit character refers to his mental disposition and his personal values in relation to credit commitments. In short, yung willingness to pay ng isang tao. And of course, the willingness to pay is manifested by his reputation in consistently meeting his obligations. An applicant's willingness to pay is easily proved by an excellent track record in previous credit transactions. So, paano natin malalaman yung willingness to pay ng isang credit applicant? Of course, titignan natin yung credit history ng credit applicant. For example, bumili yung credit applicant dati ng motorsiklo. And based on his records, yung motorsiklo na binili niya ay installment basis. So, he purchased the motorcycle on installment basis. And based on the credit history of the credit applicant, nakapagbayad siya on time at nabayaran niya lahat ng kanyang accounts. So, he is considered to have established some kind of credit history. Meron siyang willingness to pay. But what if the applicant does not have a credit history? Meaning to say, this is the first time of the credit applicant to apply for credit. How will the evaluator judge his credit character? How will the evaluator judge his willingness to pay? If it is the first time for a credit applicant to apply for credit, the evaluator will judge based on the three A's. At ano yung three A's na yan? First, attachment to the community. Second, attachment to his job or business. And third, attachment to the thing purchased. The first A is attachment to the community. This refers to the applicant's sense of belongingness in the community. I'm sure na familiar naman kayo doon sa Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a basic behavioral model in management. In Maslow's or in Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, every individual has strong affiliation needs. Meaning to say, ang bawat tao merong strong affiliation needs. So a person who truly feels that he belongs to a community has more motivation to preserve his credit and overall reputation. So, if a person feels that he truly belongs to a community, he will not do something that will destroy his reputation. He will not do something or he will not sacrifice his reputation for not paying his debt. Again, pag sinabing attachment to the community, merong sense of belongingness. Pero paano ba natin malalaman na may sense of belongingness yung credit applicant? Of course, there must be manifestations of this sense of belongingness. Examples of manifestations of this sense of belongingness are long years of residency, kids in school, spouse is employed or in her own business, membership in civic and religious clubs, and ownership of residence. The next A is attachment to his job or business. A person is strongly attached to his job if the job is a well-paying and a meaningful one. Meaning to say, malaki yung sahod, maraming mga benefits, and at the same time, masaya yung employee sa kanyang work. That is a fulfilling job. A businessman will not just let go of an enterprise in which he had invested so much time and money and which provides him with an almost perpetual source of income. Of course, kung yung isang tao ay may business at nilaan niya yung effort niya, yung time niya, money niya, at lahat ng kanyang resources for that business, no matter what happens, hindi niya susukuan yung business niya. As a matter of fact, gagawin niya lahat yung kanyang makakaya in order for that business to exist in the long run or to exist in a long period of time. Another A is attachment to the thing purchased. I will give you example in order for you to understand this. If the appliance purchased, like a refrigerator, is essential to the debtor who owns a restaurant, the motivation to pay up and not surrender the unit is unquestionably compelling. As you can see, there is an attachment to the thing purchased here because the refrigerator is a necessary appliance in his business. This is a restaurant business, talagang kailangan yung refrigerator. Another example, if the thing purchased was a TV and the buyer is addicted to those many telenovelas, the buyer will try her best to make good on her monthly payments. Those are just examples of attachment to the thing purchased. Again, if the applicant or credit applicant does not have a credit history, the evaluator will judge his credit character or his willingness to pay based on the three A's. Attachment to the community, attachment to his job or business, and attachment to the thing purchased. The next C of credit is capacity to pay. Meron bang kakayahan yung credit applicant na magbayad? Capacity to pay is viewed differently depending on the type of applicant. Yung applicant ba ay employed, yung applicant ba ay self-employed, o yung applicant ba ay corporation. For unemployed applicant, capacity to pay is calculated using net disposable income versus the monthly installment. For a self-employed applicant, the following are to be considered. First, net business income. Second, the stability of the enterprise. And third, the managerial capacity of the business owner. And for a corporation, first, the managerial skills of the key executives. Second, the acceptability and marketability of its product lines. Third, the stability of the enterprise. And fourth, the technology used. Unahin natin yung employed applicant or employee. Of course, kailangan na mas malaki yung net disposable income kaysa sa monthly installment. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng net disposable income? 'Di ba kapag employee ka, meron kang buo na sahod. That is called gross salary. Ngayon, ibabawas pa yung mga mandatory contributions gaya ng SSS, PhilHealth at Pag-ibig. Kung meron kang loans at union dues, ibabawas pa yon. Yung natitira, ang tawag doon, take-home pay. Yung take-home pay, hindi pa yan yung net disposable income kasi nga meron ka pang personal expenses and other expenses. So yung take-home pay mo, i-deduct pa yung personal expenses and other expenses. Yung natitira, yun yung net disposable income. Kung mas malaki yung net disposable income ng employed applicant kaysa sa monthly installment, it is highly probable na ma-approve yung credit application. Sa self-employed applicant naman, tinitignan yung net business income. Yung net business income, ito yung income ng business na kung saan na-deduct na yung expenses at taxes kung meron man. Another factor to consider is the stability of the enterprise. In financial management, ang ibig sabihin ng stability or financial stability ay nakakabayad ng liabilities or utang. It's the ability of the enterprise to pay its liabilities. Aside from the net business income and the stability of the enterprise, The managerial capacity of the business owner is also considered. As you can see, hindi lang quantitative factors ang tinitignan, but also qualitative factor. Yung A and B kasi, those are quantitative factors. While yung C ay qualitative factor. Sa corporation naman, apat yung kino-consider, yung A, B, and D. These are self-explanatory. But I still need to elaborate letter C, and that is the stability of the enterprise. As I said earlier, stability or financial stability is the ability of the enterprise to pay its liabilities. Pero paano natin malalaman yung abilidad ng enterprise na makapagbayad ng utang? Of course, we need to analyze the enterprise's financial statements. Kailangan nating i-analyze ang kanyang financial statements. In financial management, there's a topic there entitled Financial Statements Analysis. Sa financial statements analysis, kinocompute natin yung financial ratios. Yung financial ratios, ito yung ratios na makakapagbigay ng information para malaman yung abilidad ng enterprise na magbayad ng utang. So in order to assess the stability of the enterprise, the financial statements of the enterprise should be analyzed and examined. The next C of credit is capital. Capital refers to the borrower's resources. For corporate applicants, its resources must be adequate to be considered a going concern. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng going concern? Going concern means that a corporation is expected to exist for a long period of time. For a corporation, yung tinutukoy na capital ay yung shareholders' equity. Assets minus liabilities, that is equal to shareholders' equity. On the other hand, for individual applicants, the general appearance of the household and the ownership of other personal valuables would indicate that the applicant has the resources to live a good life and make a good living. That's why during the credit investigation, isa sa tinitignan ay yung appliances. So kapag marami yung appliances or kagamitan doon sa bahay ng credit applicant, there is a high probability that his credit application will be approved. The last C of credit is collateral. Collateral refers to personal and real properties that are used to secure a credit obligation. Yung personal properties, self-explanatory na yan. Pero yung real properties, kailangan ko pa siyang i-explain ng mabuti. Yung real properties, ito yung mga properties na immovable. Hindi sila nalilipat from one place to another. These are the properties that are immovable, gaya ng bahay at lupa. Those are examples of real properties. Collateral serves two purposes. First, as a motivation for the borrower to pay the loan, and second, for the property to be sold should the borrower be unable to pay. So that is the primary purpose of having collateral. It's for the security of the creditor in case hindi makapagbayad si debtor. In case hindi makapagbayad si debtor, pwedeng habulin ni creditor yung personal and real properties ni debtor. Again, the four C's of credit are character, capacity to pay, capital, and collateral.